Hi, everybody. You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a podcast brought to you by Joyce House, presented in partnership with Cardon and Associates. We're just happy that you're here. Caregiver Crossing is a podcast that was created just for you, the caregiver. I'm Tina McIntosh.
I'm Terry Stacy.
Terry, I don't know if you know this, but research studies show that prolonged isolation of individuals lead to depression and anxiety. And I only pause there because I'm like, on this side of a global pandemic, boy, did we all learn that the hard way. But anxiety and depression increases so much as people enter into the senior age group. And to combat the epidemic of depression and anxiety among seniors, in May of 2021, the Shepherd Center of Hamilton County, our good friends there, launched a counseling program with the goals of decreasing symptoms from mental health issues, something that is just not talked about enough in our senior population. They strive to improve quality of life and decrease this isolation. And so here to share about this program and value of counseling for seniors in general, we are joined by the wonderful executive director at Shepherd Center of Hamilton County, Lauren Gwen. Lauren, thank you so much. Welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right. So here's what I do know, that the Shepherd Center has been serving seniors in Hamilton County since 1985. And that counseling program was added recently, really during this global pandemic. And so what was it that brought this about?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the things that you already said and stated. In 2019, several county leaders approached us about starting a senior mental health task force, which essentially just meant they knew that seniors in our community were struggling with mental health issues, but didn't really know the best way to address it. So this group of wonderful people got together and we identified all these barriers that people face. We came up with solutions with this great plan to launch all of these wonderful ideas in 2020. The world had a different idea.
I was going to say, and then what happened?
So a lot of the things that we had thought, honestly, if there's some silver linings from the pandemic, happened. Like, for example, Medicare started covering virtual sessions for counseling for the first time ever in history. So there were some good things that were happening that we had already identified, but it became pretty clear in that first year that the plan that we had come up with was not enough, that we knew the pandemic, we all were there. We thought it would be a couple months and then, okay, maybe 6 months. And then a year in, we're all struggling the same way. And especially seniors, being at such high risk during that time. We had so many clients that would tell us, I haven't left my house in 10 months, or I haven't left my house in 14 months because of fear and because of their health issues and because they were just trying to be safe. We knew that the isolation impact was going to be huge. So we kind of fast-tracked the plan to launch this program. And luckily, our partners at IU Health helped us kind of get that first year started.
Yeah, I can tell you, I've said about Joy's House that the pandemic was like a horrible real life case study in the importance of socialization and community for aging adults. So I hear you completely.
But this is an issue that I am just now starting to deal with. And my father had a health issue earlier in the spring of this year. And although he's not isolated, he's depressed because of this health issue. And so he's taking a lot of different medicines because of this health issue. And so right now we're trying to decide or trying to figure out what to do next, because it is normal, we're told, to go through depression, especially for all of us, but as seniors and getting on in age in his 90s. And, he's reaching that point where he's like, my mortality and how much longer and much longer will I be here? And that on top of everything else, and on top of getting sick. Methodologies that you use. Can you help us understand what type of methodologies
Sure.
that you have to offer?
Yeah, so our interventions we do in our counseling program are individual, family, couples, or group therapy. So all of our therapists are LCSWs, so they're licensed therapists. And they all are cognitive behavioral therapy trained. That's known to kind of be one of the best therapeutic models for seniors, especially seniors struggling with anxiety and depression. And as you just touched on, when you look at kind of those triggers for anxiety and depression, unfortunately, seniors check so many boxes off. And then when we add in the pandemic on top of that, it's just been a huge challenge. And so we've found really meeting people where they are, especially when we look at caregivers. We've had several caregivers come to us, out of desperation, honestly, to say, both myself and my loved one, we're both struggling. And so we've been able to, have couples counseling or have family counseling sessions to really help people navigate those difficult situations. And so we find having kind of that diverse option of interventions with the focus on cognitive behavioral therapy has worked really well.
How does somebody qualify? You are you're the Shepherd Center of Hamilton County. So does somebody have to live or work in Hamilton County? And if so, then how do they pay as well? So I guess where do they come from and how do they pay?
Yeah, so our requirements, because of our funding sources, are that they have to be 55 years old, or their loved one has to be 55 years old if they're a caregiver, and live in Hamilton County. At the current moment, all of our services are free. So all counseling services are free. There's no charge for those. Anyone would just contact our office, and we do have an intake process where we kind of screen people to make sure that they're appropriate. Obviously, if someone is having, a mental health crisis or is serious mentally ill, we want to make sure that we get them the right fit. But most of our clients are just struggling with anxiety and depression. That's the majority of our diagnoses. And so, yeah, the only requirements are those 55 and live in Hamilton County.
Short-term, long-term services, or does it just depend? You offer both.
Yeah, we originally planned when we started our pilot year that it would be short term, 6 months or less, with the average number of sessions being 6 to 8. What we found, though, in that pilot year is while that worked for some people, other people really struggled with the barriers to receive mental health services. And our program eliminates, I would argue, almost all of them. So what we found is we do have some clients that are really thriving and benefiting from longer term treatments. So for example, we've had a few clients that have lasted 8 months, 9 months, or 10 months already in the program. They're still progressing in their treatment, but we're able to really see that kind of quality of life continuing to improve. So we've continued the treatment with that.
And do your staff, do they go to the people who are receiving counseling services, vice versa? How does that work?
Yeah, great question. So the biggest issue when you talk about seniors with mental health issues are barriers, right? There's so many obstacles for anyone to receive mental health issues, but seniors are a unique group because they're struggling with things like transportation, physical limitations, health issues, sometimes pandemic issues, all on top of the already issues that we all face, right? Like stigma or the financial piece. And so we've essentially eliminated all of those. So it's free. We will come wherever you are. So some people prefer us to come to their home. Some people prefer it to be over the phone. Some people prefer Zoom, and some people prefer to come to our office. We've also done our therapy groups at different locations across the county just to try to, again, eliminate those barriers, provide transportation to appointments if people want to come in person. Or, for example, for caregivers, they might not want to meet at home. They might want a break. They might want to get out. So, coming to our office is maybe a better option for them. So the great ability that we have with this program is truly just meeting the client wherever they are and whatever those needs are.
Wow.
And
Wow.
wow is right. And so how would people get a hold of you? Website, phone number?
Yeah, our website is shepherdcenterofhamiltoncounty.org. You can go to our website and find any of our information, especially about the counseling program there. Our phone number is 317-674-8777. And just say that you're interested in the counseling program. As I kind of mentioned, the process is, we'll talk to you a little bit on the phone, and then you'll meet with someone for that intake appointment just to make sure that our counseling services are a good fit. If they're not, we're definitely going to find you the right fit. We're not just going to leave anybody high and dry if they're in need. But the other great thing about that intake appointment is, as you guys know, we offer a lot of services at our organization, and it's important for us when we're looking at counseling and we're looking at someone's mental health and their overall quality of life. There could be a lot of things involved with that, right? They may also need food, or they may not be getting to doctor's appointments, or they may have a physical health issue, right? Where they do need some additional home care, or they need, a caregiver needs an adult daycare service. And so it's been really great to offer that intake appointment as a way to not only make sure we can help them in our counseling program, but we can also help them with just about anything they need related to aging.
Executive Director at Shepherd Center of Hamilton County, Lauren Gwen. Lauren, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
As we close the show today, just to remind you that you can contact Tina McIntosh for more information and resources that'll help you through this journey of caregiving. Send her a note, tina@joycehouse.org. And we have a lot of people, Tina, that we need to thank.
Yeah, I'm actually going to focus our attention on Cardon and Associates.
Okay.
Now, they are our title sponsor for Caregiver Crossing. And at Cardon and Associates, they have 20 communities, they either owned, operated, or managed in the Midwest, and more than 40 years of senior living service. They provide residents with the best senior care options, living care options, and personalized care. And we're grateful for the folks at Cardon and Associates. So until next time, take good care of each other. We'll see you here next week on Caregiver Crossing.